Regardless of whether or not you are a cook, you can relate to this. If somebody uses something, they don't put it back. Well, cooks a lot of the time will set up their station, they'll set up their mies, they'll set up everything they need to get through their shift, and it's usually organized and stuff like that. Well, other cooks will come up and grab things when your station is set up. They'll take it either off your station or they'll use it, which that's fine. If you need to use something, use it. All I ask is that if you're going to use my tongs, then put the tongs back where you found them. If you're going to take the towels that I have folded up over by my station, then replace the towels. You know, I would do that for you, so all I ask is you do that for me. Most of us have plastic wrap in our home. Well, cooks have a very large roll of plastic wrap that they use to wrap things up, right? Sometimes the plastic wrap will tear, and it's really inconvenient. So the courteous thing to do is to fix it when you're done messing it up so the next person doesn't have to fix it. Well, there's always somebody in every kitchen, I don't understand why, that screws the plastic wrap up to the point where it's literally taking us like 5 or 6 minutes to sit there and trim at the plastic wrap like a surgeon to get it fixed. And then right after we're done fixing it, they'll come pick it up again. If you're watching this as a guest, let me explain. So the server comes to your table, bump the mic. So the server comes to your table and they take your order, and pretty soon you notice that the restaurant isn't very busy. It's been 20 minutes, and you ask the server where your food is. And at that moment, they have now realized that they forgot to put the ticket in. So what they do is their eyes get kind of big, and then they go,
"Oh, I'll check for you."
And then they run to the back and pretend to check. You'll see them go in and stand there for a few seconds, and then they come back out and they say,
"I'm so sorry. The cook's lost your ticket. I got it put in, and I'm getting a rush order put on it for you. So thank you so much for that." Blah, 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 blah.
The cooks nearly never lose tickets because the server prints the ticket. We get a copy of the ticket. In most cases, we have a printer. The ticket is printed. We grab the ticket off the printer and we stick it up on the rail. That is the most amount. Then we take it off the rail when the food's done and put it with the food. And then we say hands or order or whatever we call for it. Or the expo might do it. There's not really a way for that to get lost. Having worked in restaurants for years, I would say that out of my entire experience, starting all the way back in 2005, so old I'm losing count of like how many years I've been working in food, I've maybe had that happen once. In that long of a period, I've maybe had it happen once. Customers seem to think that cooks lose tickets all the time. It's because the server doesn't want to admit that she screwed up and that she took your order and then she went to the next table and got drinks and then brought apps out for another table and pretty soon has forgotten to put your order in. There is no reason why the walk-in needs 5 open jugs of mayo. There's no reason why we need 3 open pickle buckets, all with different amounts of pickles. There's no reason why we need 4 or 5 different open boxes of anything that's the same kind in the walk-in or the freezer. Pay attention, open one box, use up the box. This actually goes in conjunction with number 5, which is leaving empty boxes in the walk-in or leaving boxes in the walk-in that only have like one package left in them. What'll happen is a cook will go to get something. They will see that there's the last one in there in the box. So instead of taking the last one out of the box and breaking down the box, they will go get a new box and open that. So that way they don't have to break the box down because they're a lazy piece of shit. Take the things out of the box, break the box down. This is how we end up getting shorted on product when a new manager is working. Because a new manager will see the boxes, will see the 3 boxes of whatever in the walk-in, and they'll think to themselves, oh, I've got 3 cases of whatever, so I'm not going to order it. Well, one of them is empty, the other one has 2 packages left in it, and then there's the full one. So we don't have enough to get through the weekend, but they don't know that, and then in the middle of Saturday rush, we've now run out of product. So experienced managers know that cooks can be lazy, and they look at those boxes and they look inside of them. I actually did a whole video on 8 tips for new kitchen managers. I'll leave a card up here and you can check it out. This is actually more than just a pet peeve. This is also a safety issue. A lot of people were saying, oh my God, look at what a good catch that is. And everybody's focusing on that. Meanwhile, me noticing and being a manager sees this and says, if he had said behind you in the first place, he wouldn't have had to ninja catch the pizza to begin with. This is a perfect reason, actually, of why you're supposed to say behind you. And saying corner is the same thing. If you're walking around the corner with a Bain Marie full of hot-ass soup, and you don't say corner, and someone slams into you, you now have, burns on you. You may have to go home. Like, it's a big deal. So please use your call-outs. Knife behind, corner, sharp, whatever call-outs you guys have, make sure to use them, please. That one cook that pokes holes, I bumped the mic because I'm so mad, I'm annoyed, pokes a hole in the plastic wrap of cheese, instead of taking the plastic off the container of cheese and just throwing the plastic away. They tear a hole in it, and then they shove their greasy hands through the plastic wrap to go grab the cheese. It is the most annoying thing in the history of the universe. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but it is pretty annoying. It is really annoying because the motion to rip the plastic wrap doesn't save any more time than ripping the plastic wrap and then just tearing the plastic wrap off and throwing the shit in the trash. Like, it doesn't take that much extra time. I don't know why people do that. This falls in line with the plastic wrap one, but ripping the bags of bread open instead of taking the tabs off, that one is more than just an annoyance, though, because when you do that, it actually dries out the bread. So when you are a guest, unless you're getting toast, and you notice that the crust of your sourdough is kind of hard, it's because one of the dumbass cooks tore the bag of bread open, and now they can't, tuck the way that we do it to access the bread quickly is we kind of just do a spin and tuck and then put the bread back up, right? And that way when we get an order, we can easily access the bread. We don't have to keep putting the tab back on and taking the tab back off every single time. But then there's cooks that they're in a hurry and they think that taking the tab off and putting the tab in the trash takes way too much time. So they just rip a hole in it like a freaking savage. Just open and close the bread properly. I don't think that's too much to ask. It's already bad enough being on your phone at work, and I get sometimes, I write down recipes, I set alarms. There's things that I do that are work-related on my phone. I have calendar notifications that go off that are work-related events, for example. So I use my phone. There's a limit, a line. There's no reason for you to be on Facebook 4 or 5, 6, 7 times during your shift. It's getting ridiculous. So there's amount of respect that's requested, even though we live in the year 2022. One of those levels of respect is that when a guest walks in, if they see a server, a cook, a host, hostess, anybody on their phone, it triggers the psychological idea that they don't care enough about the guest to pay attention to them right when they come in. They can see that people aren't working, and it has this compounding effect. If anything else is wrong, they start to have a negative experience. They're more likely to leave a negative review. A server was on their phone. There's a drink ring on the table. They found a straw wrapper on the floor, and the bathroom is out of paper towels. That is now a 2-star experience on Yelp. Whereas if they have a good experience, you're paying attention to the small things, that is a good experience on Yelp, or at least a not Yelp review, at its worst. So if you're going to be on your phone, even though you probably shouldn't in most restaurants, at the very minimum, don't be on your phone where a guest is going to see you. Go in the back or something. If you're going to break the rules, at least break the rules in a way that's respectable to the guest, to the customer. People that bitch about people coming in close to close, I believe, are inexperienced. And the reason why is because an experienced cook knows in the restaurant industry that people will sometimes come in close to close. It is genuinely inconvenient, but experienced people know this, so they don't complain. And the way it works is they close down, they do all of their pre-closing duties, and they wrap most of the line. They shut most of the equipment off, but they leave a couple things on. Maybe they clean the grill, but they leave a little spot unclean, waiting for the customer, waiting until 9 o'clock, because then it only takes a few minutes to just scrub that one spot. I don't mean unclean like dirty for people that aren't cooks. I just mean we use a grill brick and we get it really shiny. So it's basically that part of the grill is still seasoned. It's not like there's debris and crap all over where we make your burgers. So please don't think that. Or, we leave a couple of pans on the stove for saute. We leave one of the fryers on. We don't wrap some of the more popular items till the very end of the night. That way, if somebody does come in 5 or 10 minutes before close, we could just bang out their meal really quick and then finish closing. And then we're out of there, maybe 6 minutes later than we would. No big deal. But if you're inexperienced, you bitch and you act like it's the worst thing in the world, and, you might as well basically die. If you want more videos on the realities of being a line cook, how to be a manager, and lots of other info like that, start now by subscribing. Give my channel a like if you like the video, and let me know in the comments what your pet peeves are specifically about being on the line. Do you get annoyed when people make videos talking about pet peeves? Let me know that too. Otherwise, you guys have an awesome day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.